Welcome back. My name's Crystal Tottenham from Crystal Clear Coaching. We are now on day 26 of tuning into you with what I call flow posting, which is me showing up, choosing something to do with tuning in with you to talk about for the day and just seeing where it flows. So today I want to talk about inner union. So what I mean by that is it's finding that piece of yourself, those pieces of yourself, those parts of yourself, bringing those together so that you are really putting yourself first and treating yourself in the way you'd like the optimal romantic relationship to show up and look after you. Do that for yourself first. Because I can guarantee when that person comes along that sees you nurturing yourself, loving on yourself, and showing up for yourself, you'll be first of all, you'll be a higher version of yourself because you've just chosen to embrace and enjoy life, whether you're with someone or not. But also, when and if someone comes into it, they're going to get to see that version of you, and it will likely be a healed person that you invite in that way. Someone who, you wouldn't have been on the same vibration as if you hadn't taken the time to really love on yourself, show up for yourself, and really be in union with yourself in your life. But honestly, who's a better person to come into union with than yourself for your life? You've got to see like how beautiful that is. And it's all very well to take it on and think, or to think the kind of person you want to attract in the long term is someone that feels maybe scores above you. And whether they are or not, they're probably not, by the way. But if they feel that way, you won't feel like you're on their vibration in order to attract it. But also, if you, with this time with yourself, don't find ways to look after yourself and find those small ways of slowly cultivating better and better in a union with yourself, then you can only be met at the level that you're at, which means you'll often meet other people that are at similar or lower levels of standards, of values to you at the time. So I think there's a real beauty to really taking that time to love on ourselves. And also, I really need to say, you don't need to be perfect to be in a relationship with someone. Of course not. There are many people that are not perfect, what even is perfect, again, that are in relationships. But what I just don't want for anyone is for you to find yourself looking for relationships in toxic ways, or attracting partners that show up in toxic ways, even if you feel like you have done lots of healing. And sometimes it is just as simple as taking that time throughout our days, throughout our lives, to notice when our inner child is running a pattern that has become toxic for us. It doesn't mean it didn't work really well the first few, maybe even 100 times we used it, but if it's not operating for us well anymore, and we feel or can sense a block from something that we actually really want, that it's blocking from showing up that way, then that's a great invitation to look at it, bring it to conscious light, notice when this pattern gets triggered, and then from there you get to feel into in every moment, like, okay, do I want to keep living into this pattern? Or could we invite my inner child to find a different way to show up, to let the capable version of ourselves take up the reins on this one and actually find that we can operate in a different way. And guess what? If we go that way, the block's not there anymore. Yeah. And the more that we come into this inner union with ourselves, and really I will say that's it's all the collection of our parts. As I shared the other day, we have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of maybe even millions of parts that were created in a moment in time in our past, and they cannot be deleted. They will be in there. We've got to find ways of creating a harmonious inner community with all these parts of ourselves. And yes, I know this sounds very crazy, but it's actually how our brains work. We have all these moments that then create patterns, and the more a similar situation shows up, it becomes more and more a hyperstabilized belief, and then we find ourselves on autopilot, just operating off these beliefs that we made, and often off actually different situations that just felt similar enough that our subconscious deleted, distorted, generalized that moment down to suit the reticular activating system, which is when you're told to look for a red car on the road and you see them everywhere. That is you're using your reticular activating system. So it's like when you've got a pattern going on from an inner child, one of your inner child parts, they know to look for the thing. And if there's something really scary and bad that happened to this part, they're going to keep looking for it because they're going to think it's a threat to their survival. It makes a lot of sense. But also, you're a grown human being now. How much has changed since then? What if we could do it differently? I keep bringing this up because it's so important. All these parts of ourselves just want to be seen and heard. And coming into the space and really holding space for yourself in all the ways, as many ways as you can, but in small moments. Like, I'm not saying you have to be perfect at this and meditating on a hill every day, and that's for most people just not realistic. But if you can crowbar in a little bit of a tune in meditation frequently, then by all means do. I know I'll raise my hand and say I'm not that great at doing it. I love doing it when I actually allow myself the time to do it. But it is such a brilliant way to tune in with ourselves. And as I shared the other day, just the white light meditation going through your chakras and grounding you into the earth helps me so immensely every time I do it. And it doesn't take that long. So I invite you, keep noticing and just spend time with your own self and your inner world. Find that way to really put yourself first, like you would with a new crush you just started dating. Just treat yourself like that. Treat yourself like your crush. And just, if you want to, you could even talk to yourself in the mirror. I know Louise Hay, brilliant, may she rest in peace, mind, body, spirit teacher, from way back when. She's got Hay House as well, publishing group. She's done amazing things, books, and all sorts, talks and everything. Look her up if you don't know who she is. She's got a book called Mirror Work, and she is the affirmation queen, even in death, she's the affirmation queen. And as much as affirmations can only get you so far, there's still such a beauty to them. And if you're using the mirror to look into your eyes and affirm these things to yourself, you're gonna get to see yourself. And if it feels a little confronting, notice that. Again, be curious, but also see what happens. If you find that your affirmation of your best positive top of what you're working towards is feeling too positive and just unrealistic to your system, to your body, to your mind, to your spirit, your energy, that's okay. Just see if you can take it a rung or two up the ladder. Just like if you're in a really dark space, don't say, I'm super happy today, Just say, I'm okay today. You can just, if that's all that you can feel is believable, I'm okay today. And you can work up, do that for a while, and you can work up to I feel good today. But it's got to feel true to you, your energy system, your body, everything, your mind. Otherwise, you can fake it till you make it to a degree, but if it's too much of a jump, you're just not going to believe it, and you're going to find it falls off the radar and you just stop doing it. So, yeah, mirror work is one great thing. Also, just look up Louise. You won't regret that. She's got some great things. You Can Heal Your Life is one of her biggest books. Brilliant book. And also Heal Your Body. It's just a small book that has a chart in it, and it goes through all the diseases and ailments that we might have, and the thought pattern that usually creates them, and then an affirmation to help counteract that. And it's incredible reading through it, because we've all had ailments and different flus and all sorts over our lifetimes. And just reading through it the first time, I was blown away, because I was like, I did have that kind of thought pattern when I had the XYZ thing, and it just makes so much sense. So Heal Your Body. It's so good. Highly recommend. And the more that you tune and tap into this inner world of yours and come into inner union with yourself, you're just going to be showing up and living your best life, whether there's a romantic relationship or not, and you will have just such a great time. And even if no one ever shows up, which they probably will, because you'll be radiating so much light because you're so happy within yourself, then it doesn't even matter if they don't show up, because you are living your life just how you want to anyway, and living your best self, your highest self. So, And then hopefully the only people you're going to attract, and the only people you're going to allow, because you've worked hard to build up your standards and have boundaries, there will be people that meet you on that level and help challenge you in a good way, challenge you to show up and keep up leveling, but still also hold your heart safe. People that will really be there for you in those deepest moments. The happy moments, yes, yay, but also those hard, dark moments. We all have them. Everybody is going to pass away at some point. We will have people in our life that pass away. We will have injuries that happen. We will have unforeseen financial things that might happen. It's just part of life. There's always the down to the up. But if you have a true partner with you who has worked on themselves and has found inner union for themselves, and then you only meet them when you find that for yourself, and only then do you then create a union between yourselves, isn't that just going to be so much more fulfilling, so much more unconditional, beautiful, loving, and just like a safe space? So even in the darkest moments together, you're there together and you've got each other's back. I know I've skipped a bunch of steps there in the middle. There's always a process to actually getting into that relationship. But if you have a strong inner union with yourself, you're much more likely to attract that kind of strong relationship. And also, even if you don't, if there's a bit of erring on the way to getting there, you'll be so strong within yourself that you will notice when there's a red flag or even an orange flag, and you'll keep note of it, and not in a way that you're not appreciating anyone that you're taking the time to get to know, but just in a way that you're not going to allow someone to derail that inner union of yours, what really is important to you and your heart and your soul and your life purpose and what you want to do in your life, and the people that are important to you in your life, your family, your friends that have come from before, in the future, your communities that you might be growing or cultivating. Don't imagine if we all did this for ourselves, though. Just imagine if every human on the planet was making sure they were filling up their cup first and finding that way of unifying their parts towards bigger life goals. Wouldn't this world just be a happier, more supportive, safer, more loving place? And I will just shout out to my parents there, especially mums. Sometimes I have heard, I am not a mother myself, but I have heard, sometimes you actually do need to, in moments, put your kids first, even over yourself, which, it's just part of what happens as a parent. There's just things that are urgent and have to be done. But I also invite you to remember that it's just a season, and obviously invite all the help you can get to help cultivate those small moments for yourself, because you can forego your own stuff for a little bit here and there, but if it becomes a trend and you're finding it's getting harder and harder, you're getting more and more exhausted, and you're just trying to show up for your kids, that's not going to be great for anybody. So, please find loving people around you, communities to reach out to. And if you don't feel like you have them, honestly, that does happen. And don't make it mean anything about you or where you're at. Just see if you can start, just asking if your kids are in kindy. Ask around if there's any mum groups that, maybe somebody can look after all the kids while the other mums go and get some stuff done, and then you kind of all take your turn or whatever it is. There are ways. When you're at exhaustion level, I understand your capacity might not be there to be trying to set up a new system or a new community, but I just want you to see there's people, like, you think of it like your reticular activating system. If you're looking for people that will help you, likelihood is that you will find them. But if you're looking for how people are not going to help you because you want to prove that story right, your pattern, if that's been your pattern, then you'll probably find that you feel right about that too. So, not here to give any parenting advice because I am not one, so I am not in those shoes, but I just wanted to honour that that is the experience for some parents sometimes, for seasons of life. But do what you can to make sure you look after you, because you're important. I want you to find that beautiful light for yourself. And I hope this has helped. And let me know what you think in the comments. And I will see you tomorrow. Much love.